My name is Bob Rock. I make records. I'm kind of a record producer. And I'm from Canada. And now I live in Maui. And yeah, that's about it. I've been doing it a long time. And I still love making records, so there you go. Motley Crue, Loverboy, Bryan Adams, Metallica, Michael Buble, Van Morrison. There's a lot more. Can't remember them all. From when I started in 1976, which is a long time ago. We used a 16-track tape recorder, and basically it's come so far forward that when I was working with Van Morrison, when I was coming from Maui, I did vocal comps on my laptop, which is kind of amazing if you think about where I came from. So it's changed a lot. I mean, I love the way it's gone. It's a lot easier to record. There's a lot more flexibility. We can do more. All the things that were kind of hampered us when we were using analog now, we can do pretty much anything, which is good and bad. We can have plenty of choices, too many choices. So, it's different. The whole transition from analog to digital took a while because it didn't sound very good. But as soon as it sounded great, I was all for digital. Now with the plugins and digital, it's just so convenient. Yeah, it's very easy to use. When we had to do pre-production and demos and stuff, it was a long process, and now you can put together a track in an hour, with everything that's available. Basically, I've got the drums that I record at the warehouse in Canada on my laptop. So actually I can get pretty close. So that's good. It's very creative. It's very fast. For instance, it's like a lot of people talk about auto-tune. But before auto-tune and before really Pro Tools, we were tuning vocals with basically a digital delay that we would sample one word, and then we could change the pitch. So we've been doing it since, mid-'80s. So everybody was auto-tuning, always have been since. So I don't understand what the big deal is. But this is the thing that has changed. Now, what used to take about a day, maybe 2 days to tune a vocal, we can tune it in like an hour, even a half hour. So that kind of stuff. There's so many choices now. There's so many colors you can use, which is really great. You can, like for instance, with Michael Buble, we used the Dap Kings, which are a great band that backed up actually Amy Winehouse. So we contacted them and we went to their studio in Brooklyn and we did an 8-track. And there was 2 mics on the drums, and I hadn't done that since the 70s. And it just reminded me of the quality and the, not so hi-fi. Like there's all the mistakes, all the textures. It's kind of nice that you don't have to over EQ or compress now. You could just capture a moment that is either dark and dirty or beautifully clean. So I just love it now. Because I was an artist, I was making records on my own and writing and stuff, that I've always been kind of like into the production of just making the best I can do, helping somebody make a record that they want to hear. So that's what I think a great producer is. Filling in the blanks that maybe need to be filled in with an artist. Bringing out the best of an artist, whether that is, the vocals or instrumentation. That's a great record. Really, I don't know. There's no conceptual things that are going on with me. It's really, I go by feel. And that's just really just being in studios all my life. You just get a feel for what's needed, you know. And you know, the thing is starting out as writing songs, etc. You realize that the job of a producer is really an outside perspective, because you know, with writing and performances, you know, when you do it yourself, you don't really have that outside perspective. So it's about building trust, a producer. And right now we're in that place where, you know, I think people are sort of getting tired of everything being absolutely perfect. So I think some of the better artists right now are the ones that actually aren't perfect. And I think that adds character. So I see that's the future. You know, if you go back to the classic records that I love, there's mistakes, and you know, the Beatles were out of tune. Who knew? So anyway, I think that's the future. Is more character, more human. You know, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. That's a tough one. I think the thing that has allowed me to still work, etc., is that I learned how to engineer the sonics of recording. I write songs. I play a lot of instruments on top. So I think you got to cover all the bases, and you really have to learn how to be in the room with people. So many people forget about that part of it, you know, because really when you work with an artist, you got to become their friend literally in a couple of days, and a lot of people have a tough time with that. I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you know, out of the 40 years I've been doing this, I sort of felt confident that I kind of knew what I was doing, but I'm still learning.